Hello, welcome to the Live to 110 podcast. My name is Wendy Myers, and you can find me on live to110.com. Today, we're going to be interviewing Allie Ochs about pulsed electromagnetic fields, also known as PEMFs. PEMFs have been harnessed into a device that you can lay on for a few minutes a day to heal your whole body. And it's an incredibly interesting tool that can counter the effects of all the electromagnetic wireless radiation that we are exposed to every day, which contributes to cancer and countless health conditions, not to mention obesity as well. I first learned about them when I was researching a post on how to heal osteoporosis because the PEMFs have been found to be very effective at building bone density. Please keep in mind that this program is not intended to diagnose or treat any disease or health condition and is not a substitute for professional medical advice. The Live to 110 podcast is solely informational in nature, so please consult your healthcare practitioner before engaging in any treatment that we suggest on this show. And I'm really excited. I've been getting ready all week for the Livin' La Vida Low Carb cruise. It's Jimmy Moore is putting this cruise together, which he does every year. And I'm going to be speaking about obesogens, chemicals that make you fat. And so I'm all packed up and ready to leave at 5:30 a.m. tomorrow to fly to Orlando to get on the cruise. So I was telling all you guys about it for a few months. So hopefully some of you are joining me on the cruise. It's going to be so much fun. We're going to St. Martin and the Virgin Islands and Coco Key, where they have NASA, where they used to launch the space shuttle. And I'm also really excited. If you can go to my website at live110.com/sign-up, you can download my brand new Modern Paleo Survival Guides. They're little charts that give you a little taste of the Modern Paleo Survival Guide, and a little chart on protein and fats and oils and a couple other charts that basically summarize what you'll find in my new book, The Modern Paleo Survival Guide, that will be coming out October 1st on glamazon.com. So I'm really excited about that, and really more excited to finish the book and actually get it out to you guys. Finally, it's been a long road of writing the book. And also, please, everyone, if you're enjoying the podcast, please go leave the Live to 110 podcast a nice review and rating in iTunes. That will help me get up in the charts so that people can find me and I can help spread the word on health. So today, our guest is Allie Ochs. She is the president of Swiss Bionic Solution Canada and PEMFglobal.com. She's an international speaker and PEMF expert. I seem to be having a problem pronouncing that. And she educates about the health effects of wireless radiation, the next cancer tsunami, and PEMF, or pulsed electromagnetic fields, that restore human health on the cellular level. Allie discovered the power of PEMFs while suffering from severe chronic health issues and was able to avoid invasive surgeries and unnecessary drug dependencies. She's a pioneer in this industry. Allie brought PEMF technology to North America and has helped thousands of people take control over their health. Allie has lectured globally and has appeared on numerous radio and TV segments and has been a speaker at CARP, the American Academy for Ozone Therapy, and many health shows. And you can find her at PEMFglobal.com. Hi, Allie. How are you doing?
Hi, Wendy. Thank you for having me.
Yes, I'm very excited to have you on because I think this is a really important technology. I'm actually going to become certified in the PEMF technology and sell the equipment. I'm really excited to get one myself because I've just read a lot about them, and I think they're just a very simple, easy thing that people can do to tremendously, heal their health and combat wireless radiation that we're exposed to every day.
I'm so happy you're going to come on board. You're going to be one of our PEMF power women.
Yes, I am. I'm ready. Ready to
rock.
Yes, I am. Well, why don't you tell the listeners a little bit about yourself and your story and how you became involved with the pulsed electromagnetic fields?
Yeah, that was about 8.5 years ago. And at that time, like you said, I suffered from a multitude of chronic civilization conditions like the whole world suffers. And people just don't know how to get better. Neither did I, because conventional medicine didn't have a solution for me.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to list some of them. Severe back pain for 5 years, a double shoulder injury for which I was supposed to have surgery. I had all these ugly women problems. Mm-hmm. And I had irritable bowel. I had severe headaches. I couldn't sleep. I had no energy. And surprisingly, before I knew it, I became depressed.
Yeah.
And nobody wanted to have anything to do with me, which is hard to believe because it can be so much fun.
Yeah, I know. You've got a great attitude.
But not in those days.
Yeah.
And I did not find a solution for my problems because, and now I understand when you are in the conventional medical stream, the conventional medical stream looks at body parts or organs, but not at the whole body.
Yeah.
Right? Like you become an arm, a back, a head.
Yeah, it's very frustrating. It's very strange.
Yeah. And, they failed to understand, which I didn't at the time either, that the human body consists of 75 trillion cells. And the bottom line is we can only ever be as healthy as our cells are. Right? So at that time, I was introduced to this technology by a girlfriend of mine that I went to school with in Germany. I'm German. I'm not going to apologize for it.
Well, you don't have to. I'm of German descent, so.
And so, she introduced me to it. I didn't understand what it did, because to me, I spent over half of my life in North America, and these technologies and these unconventional therapies are not as readily available in North America as they are in Europe. So then I started to use this system, the IMIS, and then I got better. The first thing I noticed was sleep. I mean, how important restless sleep is, the REM sleep, where, your whole body recovers. And so then, little by little, everything got better. My back pain, my headaches went away. I had more energy. I slept. I became pain-free. I would say over the course of 6 weeks to 2 months, I was pain-free. That's huge, right? And then I went and worked out again. I did life again. So everything changed. Yeah. And then what happened? People around me, my friends and my family, and my neighbors, they were like, wow. I mean, they could see the transformation in me. And they were constantly over at the house, lying on my dining room table, having sessions on that miraculous mat.
Yeah, yeah. So what is it called? It's called the IMRS 2000?
It's the IMIS. That's it.
IMIS?
IMRS.
RS, that's what I thought, yeah.
Yeah, Intelligent Magnetic Resonance Stimulation.
Okay.
So then, and this is how I began to pioneer the industry, because then I thought, oh my God, I can help so many people, because we're all suffering from chronic conditions for which we may only find management of the condition, but not a cure. And I'm not saying the IMIS cures anything, but I finally began to understand that once our cells work at the optimum level, everything in the body begins to change. And 8.5 years ago, that was the beginning of this technology entering the North American market. Now, I have to say, and I'm sure your readers would be listeners would be very interested in that too. When I started, it was sort of Allie's voodoo machine.
Yeah.
And a lot of people questioned it. A lot of people gave me a hard time.
Yeah.
And didn't take it seriously.
Yeah, how can laying on a mat help diseases and pain?
Exactly. Especially in North America, when everybody is so obsessed with the symptoms and people are obsessed with their diseases. Have you noticed that?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
It's like my back pain, it's my headache, it's my arthritis, it's my fibromyalgia. So it, like, people begin to own their diseases, and it actually disempowers them from understanding that the body has a much greater ability to heal itself than we are given permission to believe.
Yeah, I never used to buy it either because I really bought into the traditional Western medical model of treatment, not healing, but treatment, that you require drugs or surgery, that the body doesn't heal itself. You have to put something into it to make you feel better. And right. So people, I think, really have to deprogram themselves from that thinking and that ideology, because there's so much more to health than Western medicine.
Absolutely. And I'm a firm believer, after 8.5 years, what I've been through, unreal, with all the health institutions and everything. But here's the exciting part that made my mission worthwhile in the end. Mm-hmm. Never, ever give up. When you truly believe in something and you're guided by an inner drive, where this helps humankind, even though they think you run around with a voodoo machine.
Yeah.
But guess what happened? Health Canada is giving us the medical class 2 device license.
Wow, that's huge.
That's powerful. So that means, doctors can sell it, doctors can prescribe it. I mean, it has a whole host of implications, also as far as credibility.
Does that mean they can use it in hospitals? That hospitals can use it as well?
Right. And interesting that you say that. I was just in Ohio, and I gave a lecture. There were some professors from the Bowling Green University, some sports physicians. The police chief bought one.
Great.
Yeah, because people are finally getting it, that they have to take responsibility for their health. So where do you begin? On the cell level.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, let's talk about what is exactly wireless radiation, because that's one of the main things that this machine does, is help counteract those effects of wireless radiation that we're exposed to every day. So why don't you tell the listeners a little bit about what exactly wireless radiation is? Yeah,
I will. But just to say that, a PMF device such as ours, I mean, let's get away a little bit from brand names and things like that.
Yeah.
But the actual PEMF technology, is threefold the effect. Because it works on the cell level, it activates the body's ability to heal and repair on every level. It is also widely used in Europe in the sports field, athletes, because it's like illegal doping.
Yeah.
Right. Because it increases the oxygen, or the body's ability to utilize oxygen. That's also why I was at the American Association or Academy for Ozone Therapy. And the third part, wireless radiation. It counteracts some of the effects that occur when we are exposed to wireless radiation. So everybody, and I'm sure all your listeners, have heard about the impact of cell phones and cell phone towers in our environment, that we are constantly bombarded by wireless radiation. We're literally being fried every day.
Yeah.
But most people don't understand the mechanism through which this happens on the cell level in the human body. And Wendy, not only in the human body, every organism, plants, animals, they're all affected by wireless radiation. So inside of each of our cells is what's called a regulatory gene. And that gene decides whether your cells divide into healthy, functioning cells or whether they are beginning to mutate. And this regulatory gene is susceptible to wireless radiation. I mean, everybody knows when I put my cell phone on my ear gets hot, right? But that's only one of the effects. But the effect that I'm talking about is directly on the cell level, and it impairs cell function. What happens in the human cell when cell function is impaired? the cell charge drops. So a healthy human cell, minus 70 millivolt. Cancer cells, 30, 20 millivolt. That's already the formation or the existence of a cancer cell. And this is the impact that wireless radiation has on the human body and every organism. So all our animals, all our plants, everything is affected by that is within close proximity of wireless radiation.
Yeah, and this is only going to get worse, too. It's frightening.
Yeah, right. And we are, as human beings, we are more or less ignorant towards it because we cannot feel, see, taste, or hear wireless radiation because we don't have an organ to detect it.
Yeah.
When I was in Bowling Green, Ohio, and at the lecture, like somebody said to me, "Well, Allie, I don't like these scare motivation by fear." And I said, if I was to tell you now that your house is on fire, how long would it take you until you run?
Yeah, I hate to do that too, because I have to do that with my podcasts and blog posts. But you have to wake people up. You have to tell them this is going to happen to you if you don't make some changes and do something different. It's not like a sales tactic. It's just the truth.
No, I don't even care what people buy as long as they have a PEMF system.
Yeah.
I mean, even if people buy one from our competitor, I just care that when you and I have this broadcast, that people get it. Okay, so the house is on fire, even if you don't feel it's burning. That's a reality. And yes, it's scary, but the other reality also is that we cannot escape it. It's everywhere around us. Camilla Reese, she said at the Bioelectrical Convention that wireless radiation is the biggest mistake, or it will go down as the biggest mistake in history in the name of progress. Yeah. Citizen for Safe Technology, right here in my neighborhood, this is where the former president of Microsoft, Frank Clegg, he lives there. And he started an organization that by now has over 10,000 members. And, we're not fighting against technology. We're fighting for safer technology, safer setbacks so that cell phone towers are no longer allowed to be too close within the proximity of communities, schools, playgrounds, right? Because children are even more affected.
Yeah.
And, we with what we know, about wireless radiation, we're playing Russian roulette.
Yeah, and it's amazing to me when you look at the networks, say you're searching for a network. If you live near an apartment building or in one, there's 20 or 30 wireless networks. And even more, I'm sure people that live in New York City or any kind of downtown high-rise area, it's unbelievable. Yep. You're just everywhere. Bombarded. And
it's predicted that telecommunication companies will grow within the next 5 years by 900%.
Oof.
Like if you were to take that in the realm of traffic and cars on a highway, that would mean our Toronto highway, 3-laner going in, 3-laner going out, it would mean 36 lanes of cars.
Oh.
That would be the equivalent. And the World Health Organization has already issued a warning via a report that was 6 years in the making. And it talked about the next cancer tsunami, wireless radiation. And it's the next new cigarette, Wendy, and there won't be any non-smoking rooms.
Yeah.
There's no cure for it. There's no conventional treatment for it. There's no pill for it. Like pharmaceutical companies this time cannot help us. Yeah. Right?
Mm-hmm.
And so now, okay, we've got everybody scared.
Yeah.
about wireless radiation, but it is awareness, So let's look at some of the solutions, that everybody can do. Because it's one thing to have a problem, but, don't talk about problem unless you have a solution.
So what are PEMFs exactly?
They are pulsating electromagnetic fields within the frequency range of the biological window of human cell frequencies. So people have to know their frequencies. And it's not brain surgery to know about frequencies. I'm just going to put it in simple layman terms. The biological window of human cell frequencies ranges from 0.5 hertz to 28 hertz. So within that biological window, this is where the cells are happy because they can resonate with their own frequencies. And when cells resonate with their own frequencies, they vibrate.
Yeah.
Vibrating, when cells vibrate, disease cannot invade. And they're most happy at minus 70 millivolt because that is what they need to replicate into new healthy cells. So just as I'm going back to frequencies in a minute, but just as a little brain jog, the heart, vibrates at 100 millivolt or more. Why? Because it's constantly pumping. And that is why there has never been cancer of the heart as a primary site of cancer.
That's very interesting.
Yeah, there's a book coming out. It's going to be called Shocking. And I hope it's going to be out within 2 or 3 weeks because, we want to wait until we actually have the sticker from Health Canada so we can have that in the book as well, right? And it talks about it. And it will be available on the PEMFglobal.com website.
So who's publishing this book?
Some of our people that have been in this industry, and it will be in layman terms. It will have testimonials. It will explain what PMF, what they are, how they work on the human body, lots of research.
And it's called Shocking? It's called Shocking? Yep. And sure. Where will that be available?
On PMFglobal.com.
Okay, great.
Yeah. So, and on Facebook, of course. I mean, I'm the Facebook queen, you know
yeah,
that?
Yeah, you are. I love it. You are on top of it.
I'm just so driven to educate people.
I know you like every post that I do, and I feel loved.
I love what you do. I mean, who doesn't want to live to 110? I think that's fabulous.
Well, live to 120.com was taken, so I had to take it back down to live to 110.
Right. We need to have healthy cells.
Yeah.
Right? So going back to frequencies. So we talked about the biological window of human cell frequencies between 0.5 and 28 hertz. Anything outside of that window, cells are not happy because they're being attacked by it or assaulted by it, and they cannot vibrate or resonate with these frequencies. So if you look at the outlet in North America, 60 hertz, right? Already not so good. So that's why one thing that people should do is don't ever sleep with an electric alarm clock. It goes constantly zzz in your brain. And so when you look at cell phones, 800, 900 megahertz, cell phone towers, gigahertz, these are all frequencies that disturb or impair human cell function. So it drops the charge in the cell. And that is why this is such a silent, do I want to call it killer or, not really, but it's, it makes us all sick.
Yeah.
And NASA came out and said, and I just posted on my Facebook too, that they've known since 1981 all the effects of wireless radiation already. It's like, it's out there. So what else can you do? Put your cell phone in airplane mode. Yeah. Don't live close to a cell phone tower.
What about electrical outlets? Do electrical outlets affect you at all?
Yeah, of course. Right. They do. But the worst is the wireless radiation. And in the meantime, we can demand safer technologies from telecommunication companies, and that's what we're doing with Citizen for Safe Technology. That's the other part of my passion, demanding safer technologies. And, like the cigarette companies, ultimately they had to give in, right? And they had to change everything. And then we ended up with non-smoking rooms, restaurants, smoking site, non-smoking site, now nowhere. So there was progression, right? But this time, with the rapid development of technology, we don't want to play Russian roulette, because there are so many studies available, and they primarily come from outside of North America. And some of Health Canada, for instance, they said, we don't have our own studies, so we have to do more studies on the effects of wireless radiation, and I wrote to them and I said, are you telling me that the cells are different in Finland, human cells, than they are in North America? It's not possible. So just be aware. And one other important thing, and people don't like to hear it, but it's a simple, inexpensive thing to do. If you have wireless in your house, get rid of it.
Yeah.
Right? That is so important. You'll find you sleep better, you have more energy, you don't have that much brain fog, because a lot of the symptoms of exposure to wireless radiation coincide with all the civilization illnesses that we have in North America and elsewhere that nobody finds a cure for.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
For instance, take fibromyalgia. A lot of people have it.
Yeah.
In Japan, people that have the same symptoms as people who are diagnosed in North America with fibromyalgia, in Japan, they call it magnetic field deficiency syndrome.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's very interesting.
Exactly.
Yeah, I have a lot of clients that come to me with diseases and the doctors just throw their hands up. We don't know what causes it or what to do. And I feel bad for them. And I think it's absolutely the wireless magnetic fields and the dirty electricity and chemicals and heavy metal toxicity. Yep. And it's just things that modern medicine is not addressing or even talking about. Very few doctors are talking about heavy metal toxicities or wireless internet and things like that. Because
they don't know. But you may find it very interesting. Health Canada is making funds available for doctors, physicians, if they want to learn about environmental diseases.
That's great.
Because there's a whole host of diseases and symptoms that are associated with wireless radiation and fibromyalgia, osteoporosis, arthritis, headaches, irritability, attention deficit disorder. That doesn't even exist, because when you move these kids away from their iPads and from their cell phones and wireless radiation, take these kids to a beach.
Yeah.
Away from cell phone towers, barefoot on the beach. All right, no rubber soles, no nothing.
Doing some earthing.
Right. So, a pulsating electromagnetic field system, that is within the biological window of human cell frequencies. When you lie on the whole body mat, it emits the frequencies of your own cells, and your cells resonate and vibrate. So it raises the cell charge. So when our cells work at the optimum level, what happens is some of the damage can be reversed. Some of the damage that happens through exposure to wireless radiation can be reversed. But I don't like people to think, I can be in that soup of dirty electricity. Doesn't matter as long as I have a pulsating electromagnetic field system. That's like eating a diet, on a diet. Give you a diet pill and you can eat whatever you want. Right? Well, and so it's very important for us human beings to understand our body on the cell level, and also as a electromagnetic being. And this falls into the realm of energy medicine. And, conventional medicine, is just at the brink of discovering that we are not a chemical, mechanical, or structural being. We're far more than anything an electromagnetic being.
Yeah.
And the Institute for Bioelectric Research has made electromagnetic fields a priority of research.
Yeah, and I totally agree with you, because the people that I speak to, that I've mentored with, or that friends I have that are very, very knowledgeable about health and natural healing, they are very much into energy, and that everything is energy, and that you have to choose foods based on their frequency. It's going to be very complicated and esoteric, but the people who I feel know what they're talking about are talking about energy.
Right. And for the layperson, when you say to them food has frequencies, the layperson, or that's not in that realm, may not quite get, has a higher frequency than a McDonald's hamburger.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, see, and your cells resonate with that high quality food, that natural food that the body craves, and that's what the body has been designed for.
Yeah.
Just like the body has been designed to be powered by the electromagnetic field of the earth. And here we are, we have no access anymore, or very little, to nature, to grounding, to earthing, right? But it has to be a pulsating field to power our cells. And also within our environment, all the wireless radiation also destroys the or reduces the electromagnetic field that we so desperately need to have healthy cells.
Yeah.
Right? So it's like it's wild what's going to happen, because telecommunication company will forge ahead. We people.
Yeah, and people have to
use
fight.
Our cell phone. We want to have it all. Like you and I want to be on Skype, right?
Yeah.
But we can be without wireless, if we're plugged in to our router. We don't have to be wireless.
Yeah.
But for people, until they get it changed in their house, it's like $200 or $300 to change it, right?
Yeah.
Sorry, my phone's ringing.
That's okay. So
okay.
So where does this technology come from?
The technology itself is based. It's made in Switzerland. And parts in Germany. Our company is in Switzerland, so we have a company in Switzerland, Germany, Asia, India, United States, and Canada.
Okay.
And it is based on NASA technology, and based on a 47-page NASA study. I mean, pulsating electromagnetic field. The idea of replicating that originated when the first astronaut went in outer space, Yuri Gagarin. Have you heard that story?
No, I haven't.
Fascinating. And so he was only in outer space, for an hour and a half or so. And when he returned, he had severe osteoporosis and depression, among other things.
Wow.
All right. And because there was no magnetic field. And if you look at the moon, there's no magnetic field and nothing grows there.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So this prompted NASA to replicate the magnetic field of the Earth in what's called a coil technology.
So are there spacesuits full of the IMRS 2000?
Right. And this study is a 47-page study. And I just give it to you in 2 sentences because that's a nutshell. I'm the nutshell version. Give me the nutshell, right? So this study in 2 sentences says that when cells are exposed to a pulsating, low-frequency based pulsating electromagnetic field, they grow faster and stronger. That's what you want. That is true health. That is true anti-aging from the inside out. And people are finding, that apart from their health issues disappearing and their health improving, every organ improves. When you are in a pulsating electromagnetic field, you gently detoxify every day.
Yeah, I'm sure with that vibration that aids to rid the cells of toxins, because that's what infrared saunas do as well. They kind of vibrate that cell, the light energy, the red light, and it helps them to detox and release their toxic contents, That's the exact mechanism behind the near-infrared saunas that I talk about a lot too.
Yeah. And a pulsating electromagnetic field is the next step up from a sauna, because once you're on a pulsating electromagnetic field and your cells are charged, the effects last for 6 hours after. That's so exciting.
Mm-hmm. So it's kind of like you fuel up your cells.
That's right. It's like taking your cells that suffer from impaired cell function, and your cells, when they're not healthy, they look like raisins. So now you lie for 8 minutes on a pulsating electromagnetic field, and now they look like grapes. And you can actually see that in dark field microscopy. You familiar with it?
No, I'm not, no.
So that dark field microscopy is like a live blood analysis. So, and we've done that lots of times.
No, I've seen that with vitamins. They do it with vitamins, or they're showing different aspects of vitamins and other things. Yeah,
that's right. That's pretty exciting when you can see what it does, to the blood cells.
Yeah. I'm definitely all for plumping up my facial cells. Can you lay on it on your face?
You don't need to. No, you don't need to, because it happens from the inside out.
Okay, great.
So your skin improves, your hair, your nails, so all that good stuff, right?
I am so getting one. I cannot wait. After we finish the podcast, I am signing the paperwork to get one.
Oh yeah. Oh, you'll be helping so many people. I mean, the testimonials we get and the thank you notes from people, how it changed their lives, right? It's going to be the next big thing.
Yeah. And
the FDA has already approved pulsating electromagnetic fields for the healing of non-union bone fractures. It has approved pulsating electromagnetic fields for a transcranial application for depression, for brain tumors. But of course, in conventional medicine, these poor people with a brain tumor that are allowed to use a pulsating electromagnetic field only after they've been through radiation and chemo.
Yeah, of course. They have to pay for that first, and then they get the cheap, more effective treatment.
That's right. So optimum cell function is the essence of human health, because once your cells are all plumbed up, meaning they have membrane surface so that they can absorb nutrients, oxygen, and eliminate toxins and carbon dioxide, that is the optimal. Because the body, a lot of people, they go to nutritionists, but they're not getting better because their cells don't function.
Yeah.
And, I always find it interesting that in spite of all the progress in the conventional field of medicine, as well as in the complementary field, which includes supplementation, nutrition, and all that people, by and large, are not getting better. The opposite.
Yeah. And
the World Health Organization predicts by the year 2020, cancer will double.
Yeah, I believe that. And that's why I started Live to 110, was to help people adopt a lifestyle and diet and detox and technologies like PEMF to prevent cancer, because my own father died of his cancer treatments. But it's a real wake-up call when people have illness, or an illness in their family, or a loved one die, that it finally wakes them up, so they're kind of don't have the blinders on anymore, that they have got to act soon, or the statistics are going to catch up with them. And so that's why I'm doing this. That's exactly why I'm doing this podcast, and spend all of my time educating people about how to prevent this, because it's coming. Like you said, I love that you call it a cancer tsunami, because there's lots of things in our control. We are not victims of the statistics. We do not have to be.
And exactly. And nor do we have to become a hostage to our genetic makeup, because it's not all genes.
Yeah, it's a very, very small percentage of...
Right, so it just takes, the right environment, be conscious about Wi-Fi, and, just do the simple steps that we were talking about. and use a pulsed electromagnetic field system, not just for yourself or not just for your back pain. It takes care of those things.
Yeah.
But also as a lifestyle product for your entire family.
Yeah.
You know, people use them for dogs. We have used it for horses. You know, and eat food, organically grown food that are rich in frequencies, high frequency foods.
Yeah.
You know, natural. Food is medicine.
Yeah.
You know,
so what prompted Dr. Oz to endorse PEMFs and have it on his show and on national TV?
Yeah, because one actor who actually bought our system, I don't want to do name dropping, that's not right.
Very, very LA, maybe not so Toronto.
What, the name dropping?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, if you do who I was with on the weekend or last week, NFL players, you would have want to come over in Ohio.
Yeah.
Same hotel. 25 NFL players.
Nice, nice.
I had a riot.
You had a good time.
And of course they get it.
Yeah.
They totally get it. So one very famous actor who is friends with Dr. Oz made Dr. Oz aware of this technology. And that prompted the Dr. Oz show. And Dr. William Pollack was on that show, who also sells our system, among others. Mm-hmm. And Dr. Pollack and I, in the early days, we worked together, right? He was at some of our conventions, and he was here at my house. And so it's Dr. Magda Havas. I mean, there's so many people, you know, that have all the research, that have dedicated a lot of their time and resources to educate people, just like you have. You know, you do a lot with food because you know about it, so you want to share that with people so that they can make better choices. Because optimum cell function, I mean, you can eat the greatest food in the world. If your cells don't function properly, you don't have a whole lot.
Yeah, and I think that's the missing link. I have so many people that contact me. I adopted a paleo diet or a paleo with a little bit of carbs, and they don't feel better. And nope. That's just one piece of the puzzle.
It's the missing link. It's the missing link for all of us because, like I said before, you know, our magnetic field around us is diminishing, you know, because it's clouded by wireless radiation. But people cannot connect the dots because we're so disease obsessed, you know. I sometimes, you know, give hour-and-a-half lectures about human cell function, about electromagnetism. And then at the end, some people say, well, will it help my back pain? Well, yeah, of course. Weren't you listening? Right?
Yeah.
But it does so much more than that because it works on the cell, not on the disease.
And what is the cost of a device like any kind of PEMF or the IMRS 2000?
About $4,000.
Okay.
And right now we have a special way you can get the professional unit, which is valued at $4,790. You can get it for $3,950, which is, I know what you're getting.
Yeah.
So you save $840. But you know, even if it was $20,000, it would be worth it.
So can people make payments on this?
I'm not sure in the United States. Here we have financing, but they can lease it.
Oh, they can lease it. Okay. And how much is the leasing generally?
$200 a month.
Oh, that's not bad. That's not bad. That's that's doable, I think, for a lot of people.
Oh yeah, yeah. You know, and it's not just for you. You know, it's for your whole family.
Yeah. And so, can people try it before they buy it?
Yeah, they can rent it. It's about it's $500 a month to rent it plus $1,000 security deposit.
Okay.
So then they use it for a month, and you could do that too. And then if they decide to keep it, we just charge the balance after a month, but they don't lose their $500. And if they decide that they don't want it, then of course we don't pay them the $500 back, but the $1,000 security deposit.
Okay. And so I have a question I like to ask all of my guests, and I have a feeling I already know what you're going to say. But what do you think is the most pressing health issue in the world today?
What do I think?
Yeah.
The most pressing is for people to take control over their own health. I know that isn't a health issue, but a health issue is created. We have multiple health issues. I mean, cancer, food, GMOs, right? Water, like everything. I don't think it's just one thing. But I think the biggest health issues that have been created and that we people continue to suffer from, and it's almost like we sort of let it go, and we think that yeah, of course, cancer is the biggest health issue, but cancer is a symptom of something already going on in your body for a while.
Yeah,
it's a symptom, right? It's not the actual disease.
Yeah, people don't realize it takes 5 to 10 years before they manifest symptoms once that first cancer cell mutates.
That's right. So that's why, the saying, we all have cancer inside, right?
Yeah.
So, it's prevention. And I think that a lot of our health issues could be overcome by education. Things like you do, educating the public.
Yeah. Yeah, well, that's what I work at every day. I love every second of it. Trying to educate. I love learning myself and educate, sharing the knowledge of what I've learned really just, I don't know, gives me a lot of joy. I really love it. And I can tell you do too. Very passionate about your work.
Oh, totally. Because it's natural. Like we're giving people the natural electromagnetic field, their own frequencies, right? And then the resonance effect takes place. And sometimes people don't understand what that means, but a resonance effect is, it's like the tuning fork. So you've got 75 trillion cells in your body. And until they all resonate, it takes 8 minutes. And the effects last for 6 hours. So that's why you go on it twice a day for 8 minutes.
Okay.
But what is a resonance effect? Just for your listeners to bring that a little into perspective, imagine a row of people, 100 people. And Wendy is at the front and Allie is at the back.
Well, you can go in front of me.
No. And so we have all these people in a row in between us. So somebody tips me and I fall forward. It takes a while until you fall.
Yeah.
Domino effect. And this is how cells work. Because when they all resonate, they can communicate with one another.
Yeah.
Right? It's just like, whatever thought you put in your brain, whether you think positive or negative, the cells store that information and they communicate it from one cell to another.
Yeah. Well, Allie, thank you so much for coming on the show. That was really educational, very motivational for me, I must say, as I am ready to sign the paperwork to get one.
Oh, you'll be happy to be helping so many people. It's the missing link.
Yeah. So why don't you tell the listeners a little bit about where they can find you and your website, etc.
Yeah, they can find me at www.pemfglobal.com. Or on my wonderful Facebook page, it's ALLIE space and then OCHS, which is my first and my last name, and I'm happy to answer questions, and they can befriend me. And I'm always very, very educational. I've never been a pushy salesperson because I believe that if you give people information enough, people are intelligent enough these days to decide whether they want something or not.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
For themselves without having to push them.
Yeah.
And they can also follow me on PMF Global Facebook page. And we always post, where we are, where I speak, anything.
Yeah, you do a lot of speaking events.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'm so excited. I have to tell you this. It was so... how life sometimes works. amazing. It was always my dream. And when I started, and I became aware of Dr. Brian Clement from the Hippocrates Institute.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I want to get him on the podcast. I like him.
Oh, you will. And it was always my dream to share the platform with him.
Oh, yeah.
And on May 24th, I am.
Oh, nice. Congratulations.
Here in Oakville. We're both keynote speakers at a big event here in Oakville.
Uh-huh.
And Hippocrates has 2 of our devices in their clinic.
Oh, great.
And then I was always Dr. Gary Gordon. You know him?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah. So he was in Dallas, Texas. I met him. I had dinner with him, 3-hour dinner.
Lucky
and
you.
We fell in love on a professional level because we speak the same language.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
And so he is a total believer in PMF. And we're going to talk, Dr. Gary Gordon and I, this afternoon.
Nice. Fantastic.
I mean, he's fabulous. I mean, these are amazing people that have done so much good for humankind, right? Totally driven, totally passionate. And that's just the kind of people I love to work with.
Nice, nice.
Like you, because you have passion on helping people.
Yeah, absolutely. I love what I do.
Exactly. So let's leave a legacy.
Yes, yeah, that's what I'm trying to do. That's a little baby legacy. Something.
It's dramatic.
Well, Allie, thank you so much for being on the show and sharing your knowledge about this very, very important issue. And everyone, if you want to learn all about detoxification and the modern paleo diet or healing your health conditions naturally, you can visit me at live110.com. You can sign up and get a free ebooks that I've written. I've got the Live to 110 by Weighing Less e-guide. I've got the brand new Modern Paleo Survival Guides, and you'll get a 14-part e-series about the modern paleo diet. And everyone, thank you so much for tuning in. I cannot wait to get a PEMF mat because I love the thought of healing myself just laying down for 8 minutes. I can do that. So everyone, thank you so much for tuning in and listening to the Live to 110 podcast.